Hello, we are Hatzumi Morimoto, Selena Teyes, and Karla Coronado of the 7th semester of English Language Teaching Bachelor of US Navojoa. In this case, due to the COVID-19, we didn't be able to be together, but with this modality, we can present our integrative project. So, welcome to our virtual course of English for a Specific Purpose, Anatomy and Physiology 1. We create our course based on the subjects English for a Specific Purpose and strategies and design of tools for competency evaluation. This course is for students of Physiology Bachelor of Universidad Estatal de Sonora. So our course was born out with the problem that nowadays medical science use English for their develop of researches, report, articles, investigations, and etc. And in this bachelor, they have a lot of terms, a lot of definitions based on the health area. So we decided to introduce a virtual course with English for a Specific Purpose that can facilitate students to understand that medical terms for their future professional development. Now, we're going to see the need analysis. We create a need analysis for students of the 6th semester who are in the A1 level of English based on the CEFR. So in order to collect information for our course, we made a survey. And for that survey, we used the website Google Forms to create it. And then we base it on the course of English for academic purpose in order to take the most important terms for our survey that were educational background, the content, and the English skills. This to give us the expect results that where that students are most interested in communicative skills. They need to learn communicative skills and they think that is the most important. Let's see. Here we have the results and we say it on a scale where the 1 is the lowest and the 5 is the highest. We can see one of the questions that it says that how important is reading to learn English, and they put as a neutral. Then we have how important is writing, and they consider that is the really important. Then we have listening, and they consider that it's really important, and speaking, and it's still being important for them. Then we have on a scale where the 1 is the highest and 5 is the lowest. We ask for them how easy is the reading or this skill for you. In this case, we can find that they consider not easy reading, and they put writing in a neutral and listening as a neutral, but speaking as really important point here that is not easier for them. So they show us that they consider listening and speaking really important. Here we have the most important graphic for us because we can realize what is the problem here with them. So what is the most difficult for you now? And we can see that they have situations where they have to speak, they have to use the communicative skills, and then how do you consider your English level? And we put the same situations, and as we can see, they don't have problem with the reading and that kind of skills. So based on that, we create or course objective that is based in the communicative language learning and teaching approach. So the course objective is analyzing concepts, components, and functions of anatomy and physiology, as well as identify the functioning of the systems of the human body in order to apply the necessary communicative competencies in the health area through research for the evaluation of a patient.
For the creation of a curriculum design, we consider the aspects of objectives, goals, and proficiency level, where it's presented that students are expected to improve their communication skills, and that's why a specialized curriculum was designed, whose activities and tools to be used will be helpful in order to implement an environment where students can interact with each other and at the same time accomplish their goals. And as goals at the end of the course, students will be able to complete a patient evaluation in the target language, which is English, and by speaking and interacting with the established activities, they are expected to function in an environment where they can develop and improve their speaking skill in a specialized area. And sixth semester physiotherapy students are placed in an English level equivalent to A1 according to the Common European Framework of Reference. But with the design of this virtual English course, students are expected to become independent users of the English language, turning into B1. So that means they will be able to produce simple connected tests on topics which are familiar or of personal interest for them. And they will describe experiences and events and dreams, hopes, and ambitions, briefly giving reasons and explanations for opinions and plans. Here we have the didactic sequence consisting of 4 elements of competence and 15 activities in total. And these activities are based on the communicative language teaching method. In the first element of competence, students will identify the basic concepts of anatomy, physiology, and the different systems of the human body. And this first element is made up of 4 activities. In the second element of competence, students will identify the function of the locomotor system through knowledge of its concepts and structure. And this element is also made up for 4 activities. In the third element of competence, students will identify the function of the nervous system, as well as the different types and components through knowledge of its concepts. And this element has the same number of activities as those previously mentioned. And the fourth element of competence, which is the last one, consists of 3 activities in which students will describe some concepts, some basic concepts such as patient evaluation, will identify context, pain scales, factors and that benefits and affect the patient during their evaluation. And this is an example of the material used in activity 4, which is a quiz made in Kahoot. And this is for giving feedback to students about everything that was seen in the first element of competence. This video shows how the app works and give to us the students results so we can know if they have answered correctly or what do they need to reinforce or keep studying. And here we have the terminology of the area of knowledge, where we can find some of the basic concepts or terms and vocabulary that will be seen and that students will use throughout this virtual English course. For example, anatomy and the different systems of the human body.
Okay, I'm going to explain the evaluation for this course. We decided that it would be evaluated using summative assessment, and it is applied at the end of an activity and is basically just to find out if a student has performed well in the course and how much they have learned, and this can be done through a final project. And that's exactly what we did. To evaluate the performance of the students throughout the course and to know if they acquired the necessary knowledge, a final project was created as an evaluation tool. Just as it is important to evaluate students, it is also important to evaluate the ESP course to find out if the objectives are being met or not, or if what was assigned is being done. In addition, to figure it out whether students' needs are being met or not, and to review the course in detail, so in this way, the courses that will be carried out in the future can be guided. What should be evaluated in an ESP course is everything of significance, as well as the ability to collect information and the ability to use it. For evaluating the course, the following tools or techniques can be used: interviews, questionnaires, discussions, test results, informal means, as unsolicited comments, casual chats, etc. The people involved in the evaluation process are the ESP teaching institution, the ESP teachers, the learners, and the course sponsors. Evaluations must be done at a certain time. They are recommended to be done in the first week of the course at regular intervals throughout the course, at the end of the course, and after the course. In this way, it is easier to evaluate the learning obtained by the student and how much has advanced from the first week of the course to the last week. We added the criteria-based evaluation, and it evaluates the performance of the person evaluated, what they can or what they cannot do, what they have learned, whether or not they met the specific criteria expected for their group. The advantage with this is that it has competences with respect to an institutional objective based on learning objectives and a series of performance objectives, and it improves the aspects identified as weak. Okay, the final project description is that in a Zoom session, the students will present the results of the patient's evaluation and explain briefly all the process. They have to add the introduction, the problem statement, answer the question, why does the patient come, the patient's data, identify the personal data like the name, age, sex, weight, height, etc. Identify the progress of the treatment, identify the pain scale in Daniel's scale, identify the movement by degrees of amplitude, like the stiffness, pain, numbness, etc. And the conclusions. They will have 10 minutes to present their final project, and They will have a good fluency, the good pronunciation, and they have to add the main ideas. The evaluation criteria of the final project is activities, 30%, participation, and the participation in the Facebook group, 20%, values, punctuality, respect, honesty, open-mindedness, 10%, and the final project, 30%. We consider that our evaluation tool is good and accurate because it will provide a broad concept of the students' learning of the course, and in turn this invites them to become more involved in their learning process, since it is intended that they explore more in the field of investigations, which can yield results for their final project.
This is the end of our project, and our team wants to say thank you for the time and dedication that you as teachers gave us this semester, and above all, the passion to endure it. After creating this virtual course, we realized that it's very hard work and that it needs to be really recognized. Thank you very much for all that you do for us. With love and appreciation, your students from the 7th semester of the English Language Teaching Bachelor, who is Navojoa.